What it do, Skittles? It's your girl Keisha, aka Color Me Pynk, and I'm here with this week's All Tea All Shade Summer House Martha's Vineyard Season 1, Episode 5 review. So, on this week's episode, Bria is still yelling, calling Silas a controller, and was like, "Get out of my face, controller, controller." Boom, 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 down. So Preston in his confessional was like, they're both right. Silas is controlling and Bria is manipulative. And I wanted to give Preston a high five through the screen. So far, he's like the only one in the house that has a brain. So Silas goes down and was talking to everybody and was like, she was saying I'm controlling and Jasmine doesn't have a mind of her own. She insulted my wife. Bria then called Simon on the phone, talking about how she about to leave. She pulling out her stuff and somebody bring her a plate of food. She on the phone scarfing down mac and cheese that looked real dry and saying she ain't playing. You know how I get when I get active. And I just wanted her to just to brush her hair. Instead of eating, just brush your hair because you look just like the Cynthia doll from Rugrats, love. So Jasmine was like, well, how does everybody feel about significant other staying? So everybody in the house votes for 3 days maximum, okay? Which I think is fair. You know what I'm saying? But y'all did tell that girl that man could come stay and that he could stay for a week. And all of a sudden now y'all don't remember that. You and Silas, y'all wasn't that drunk, okay? So Bria ended up calming down and putting her stuff back. I was like, girl, you knew you weren't going nowhere in the first place, child. So Jasmine and Silas once again go upstairs and go to Pound Town. And I'm sick of it. Everybody in the house hears it because she want to yell and moan and let everybody know that her cootie cat is getting drilled. And I'm just like, or maybe she yelling and screaming because he done broke her cervix with all that he do every night. I know her coochie is on life support at this point. Like, it needs oxygen because that man does nothing but bulldoze and rabbit F her. He literally thrusts like a white boy coming straight off of a frat party drunk off Miller Lite. Like, he ain't never once gave us a swirl or a dip. And he goes up and pound down, and that's a big man. You can't tell me she be enjoying it. I think she be putting on for that man. I really honestly do think that she be putting on for him because we find out later in the episode that he can't really perform if she ain't, in her bag with her moans and groans. So I think that she be doing all that so he can get the help off of her. Because I would want him to. So the next day, Nick talks to Bria and tells her the group agreed to just 3 days. And she says that she'll leave with Simon then. Continuously being a brat. But in this case, she's in the right. I just don't like her ways because she is manipulative and she is a brat. And I don't like the way she moves. So Simon is coming the next day and apparently is planning this really extravagant dinner for everybody. The girls go out plus Preston to celebrate Jordan's 1 year of celibacy, and they invite Bria to go. Jasmine and Bria don't speak to each other. Jordan says that she had a situationship which led her to becoming celibate because in the situationship she got involved in, that person wasn't done with his previous relationship. So basically she was a side chick. You know what I'm saying? And Summer starts to cry about her last relationship and everything that she went through. And I get exactly where Jordan is coming from. I went through the same thing at her age. I've been celibate for quite some time now. And it just gets to a point where you just have to say, okay, I got to do something different here. I got to figure out what's going on with me that I keep on allowing myself to get into situations that do not serve me. You know what I'm saying? And you just can't have sex with everybody. I know I'm one of those women who get emotionally attached. There have been instances where I can have sex with somebody and I go on about my business and don't care. But if I'm feeling you, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to get emotionally attached. And then that's what sex brings on even more feelings and emotions. And it's just too much. So Jordan says to Summer, you're sparking something in Alex. Like, we've been getting a totally different Alex since you came into the house. So you can tell Summer is feeling Alex. So when they get back to the crib, she visits his room and then they talk about meditating and Nam Myoho Renge Kyo and him figuring out that he's a poet now all of a sudden. Like, he a real fine dude, don't get me wrong, but he way too zen for me. He one of them way too zen men that you gotta be on his level. He don't seem like he like to joke and play. Like, he just seem like he's serious all the time and just want to take selfies and lay out in the sun, and I just ain't got time. But they seem to be vibing. So that night they played Truth or Drink. And Summer ends up having to give Nick a lap dance. And it was a white girl lap dance, child. I don't even know what that was. He ended up jumping into the pool. Milo somehow violates Jason and takes his cookie. He literally, that man on the couch in front of everybody. Amir gives Jordan a Magic Mike striptease, child. And I was just like, what am I watching? Why am I watching this big booty man giving this girl a lap dance? Like, ladies, if y'all trying to get a BBL, y'all need to show pictures of Amir. So Preston dares Summer to kiss Alex. She asks for consent. He says yes. They have a little cute peck. It wasn't really nothing special. You could tell he was kind of shy. Silas and Jasmine tried to have sex that night silently because the house calls them out and tells them that they can hear everything. And they tell them, oh my God, we didn't know that the walls were so thin. So they try to have sex quietly, but he can't perform without her moaning and groaning. So it's a bust. They don't end up finishing. And I'm like, thank God, because I'm so tired of seeing her lay on her back and him telling her to take off her drawers. Like, can y'all do another position every night? It's the same position. She got to lay on her back, take off her drawers, and then he get to literally hammering into her. Can y'all at least do a big spoon, little spoon, from the back, something? Hang her head off the bed. Do something. I'm sick of it. Like, girl, this is the rest of your life. This is the rest of your life, missionary and getting pounded on. It don't even seem like it's no foreplay involved. It's literally him doing and handling his girl. So the next day, Simon is coming and they go out for lunch and going out to, some people go to lunch. Some of the other people go shopping. And Jordan tells Jasmine that she's cool off Amir. Like, she just ain't really feeling it. So Jasmine was like, it's about my friend having what I know she wants. And Jordan was like, well, what do I want? Because let it be known, Jasmine knows what everybody wants except for what she really wants, child. That's why she over there struggling. So Jasmine was like, a life partner, Jordan. And so Jordan was like, of course, but I don't think he's here, like not in this house. So Jasmine was like, well, outside of friends, I have that extra support person and I want that for you. And I don't know why she's trying to push people in the house to date so much. It's just like, girl, ain't you newly married? You should be worried about what you over there doing. So Jordan was like, yeah, but I have to want it more than you. And that's where I feel there's a disconnect. So Jasmine was like, and that's what breaks my heart. And Jordan was like, well, why? Like, why does me not having a man break your heart? Like, what? She was like, why does my life have to be defined by whether or not I'm single? And Jasmine was like, that is not it. And Jordan was like, but it's kind of what you're saying. And Jasmine was like, I just don't want you to feel alone. And Jordan was like, I don't think being alone is that bad. Because let me tell you something. I used to be that girl that had to be in a relationship until I became celibate and had to sit with me. And now I love me and my time with me so much that I don't even know how to be with somebody because I enjoy my own company so much. Baby, being single, I am at the best stage of my life. Do I want partnership, companionship? Of course, but I'm not going to force it, and I want it to be right. And with me being single, I have been able to focus on myself, my business. I make more money now than I ever have in my whole entire career. I've had some of my biggest accomplishments during this time period in my life. Like, I've reached so many goals being single. And not to say that you can't reach your goals and be happy with a man or a woman or whatever, but sometimes they can be a distraction. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's up with Jasmine. Like, I don't know. Like, she irks my soul. So Jasmine was like, well, as your friend, it's hard for me to speak my piece without you feeling like I'm judging you. I'm really not trying to judge you. And Jordan was like, I don't feel judged. I feel like I'm not being considered in what applies for me. I don't think it's judgment. I think it's projection. And I said, ding, 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 ding. You realize that you've married this controlling drill sergeant who don't got no good pipe game, that you got to fake for every night. You trying to be this Stepford wife for this man, and you're not happy. That's why you're trying to drag everybody else along to pair everybody else up so they can be miserable right along with you. So everybody gets dressed for Simon and Bria's dinner. Jordan tells Preston about her conversation with Jasmine. Jasmine is then in her room telling Summer and Silas what happened. And she was like, you know, Jordan felt like I was coming to her like, are you well? You're not dating. I'm concerned about you. It's so always being the married one, she said it's hard being the married one because everything that comes out of my mouth is perceived as judgment. Girl, you were judging her. You were. And that's just stand in that because you were judging her. So Bria in her big bird dress runs to greet Simon, who pull up in this little sports car, you know, trying to show off and everything. I see it. Jasmine in her confession was like, we've seen the ruckus Bria has caused. If he's anything like his girlfriend, we ain't gonna make it to dinner. So Simon goes upstairs, changes into a velvet tuxedo jacket. And Nick in his confession, Simon is wearing a velvet smoking jacket. Come on. I'm like, but sir, you can't talk with your JL Bean and your Eddie Bauer on, child. So they get to the restaurant. They have a private room. Bria and Silas gift Jasmine and Silas with Versace watches for their wedding gift. And the other housemates get Philip Blind watches. Now, he owns a watch store. I found that out when I watched What Happens Live. So basically he was giving away products from his store. It was basically free publicity for a store. So it wasn't like he went out of his pocket per se to pay, you know, full price for these watches, but it was still a great, beautiful gesture. I feel like he was doing too much though. Like, why you buying these people watches? Like, who the hell is that? Child. Okay. So everybody, you know, love their watches. And Jason was like, you know, once I saw my watch, Simon, I said, this man a good man. He a good man, Savannah. Now Silas wants him to stay because he done got a Versace watch. Oh, now it's all good. Stay as long as you please. A watch? Got you that geek now? Okay, girl. So Silas then brings up the conversation about where does Simon see his and Bria relationship going, and he gives some generic answer. And then Silas goes into this soliloquy saying, you know, there's nothing better than being a union and this, that, and the third about marriage. And Jasmine rebuts and was like, but it can also be very isolating in a group. Silas finds it as a strength, but I'm struggling. It's not as easy for me. Girl, because you're making it that way. Nobody cares that you're married. You keep on throwing it up in everybody's face and trying to push everybody into relationships. You're making it weird. You're making it difficult, love. And I honestly feel like she was emotionally manipulating Jordan because she knew she was in the wrong and overstepped. So now I'm going to play the victim and act like my relationship is with my husband and me being newly married is messing up my friendships. And that's not the case at all. It's not the case, Jasmine. Stop. Please stop. Please stop. Overall, I'm going to give this week's episode of Summer House Martha's Vineyard a B+. I really enjoyed this show. I'm really starting to enjoy this cast. Still justice for Mariah. She better come back next season if they get a season 2. Yeah. Y'all let me know down below in the comment section what y'all thought about the episode. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell button. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.